All right, so what is this hype about AI agents? What all can you do with AI agents? Why are people paying so much money and attention in this field? I want to break it down in this video and also teach you how you can build, sell, even use some of these AI agents on your own as an individual, as a team, as a company. There's a lot to break down, so let's get into it. So first things first, about AI agents, let's talk a little bit about this term itself before we can get into anything else. See, this is sort of, I would say, is an evolution of automation in general, right? So there used to be, and there still are, a lot of tools that allow you to automate some workflows. For example, let's say you have a Postgres database, and if you connect it with some sort of automation system, which sends you a notification once every day on, how many sales have happened, or, new registration, or how much churn, right? Depending on whatever your product is doing. So this is what would be an automation. Now, AI agents in a specific use case, like I'm just talking about a generic use case, AI agents over here would be different because they can actually analyze and crunch these numbers. For example, let me give you an example. Based on, let's say, how many sales, if there is a sudden spike in the sales, what your AI agent can also do is look inside your Git repositories for new features, like something that drove revenue, new pages or features. It can look into your analytics layer, whatever provider you're using, for understanding what exactly changed. It can look inside your Stripe dashboard for figuring out what geography got the most sales. And it can do a bunch of things, right? Depending on how much thinking and token spending that you want. A good part about this is that you don't have to hard code these things. Unlike an automation layer where you have to exactly hard code what the behavior has to be, in case of agents, generally speaking, all you have to do is provide some sort of integrations. For example, your AI agent can just have access to Stripe and the available APIs. It will figure it out on its own. It can have access to the Slack. I mean, you can do a little bit extreme. You can also give it your WhatsApp access for making a phone call or a text message, your inbox, anything, right? So there is no end to this. So you can link as many tools as you would want and like, and then you have to figure out what is the outcome that you want. So that is the core difference between an AI agent versus an automation that you create. But then we also hear about words like AI harness and, models. So what I would say is that an agent is basically more or less a combination of both of them, right? So you combine a good AI harness, which exposes it tools, gives it guardrails. For example, even if it has access to your Gmail, it should not delete the account or it should not do anything malicious, right? So that is a function of AI harness. And the model obviously brings intelligence to the table. So how good the task is being performed, that would be a model's responsibility. And we have some really good models now, starting with Fable and Opus if you don't want a lot of intelligence. But Fable, I will create probably another video on this. My experience has been amazing so far. Fable is really good at instruction following and even making decisions on its own when the time comes and it has to make like the best call. I will do a full breakdown of Fable 5 separately. But the idea is that these models are getting really good, like actually super good, in order to handle edge cases, nuances, complex situations, which previous generation of model were not able to do. And that is where the opportunity to also sell these AI agents and build them for yourself and just make a little bit of money setting it up for local businesses, for people who actually need automation and the smartness of AI agents but don't really know how to set it up. That is where you, as a technical, semi-technical person, can come into play, probably sell a solution to them which connects a bunch of their tools, organizes knowledge, information, and compresses it for them, deliver it once every day, once every hour, once every week, whatever like the use case for an AI agent is. Now, one of the big problems with AI agents that will use so many integrations is that how do you orchestrate that system and make sure that system itself is stable, right? As you scale, as you bring in more automations, more AI agents, more customers for your business. And that is where today's sponsor, Hyperagent, also comes into play. Because when they reached out to me, I tried to build an actual AI agent that would be really useful for me, and it works flawlessly. Let me show you my conversation with that agent. So the agent that I created is named as PuffBite. And of course, like you can change these information if you want. But the idea of this agent is that I just created it using natural language. So I asked it, set up my Monitor YouTube API access so I can pull channel data. And for those of you who don't know, Monitor YouTube is my own product. It looks something like this, right? Where I can just look for certain events, certain things. For example, this is a list of all the new videos that people have recently released. And I can just go ahead and take a look at who's doing what in the space with all the information and data about them, right? So this is, for example, one of my yesterday's video. I can just go ahead, look inside this, what's going on. And I plan to add more metadata here. But the idea is that I want to create an AI agent which also gives me ideas on the type of content that I can create based on other people in my niche, right? So that is one way of me understanding what sort of content I can create and get a summary of that. But again, like I don't want to open feed every single time, every single moment. What I want is that an AI agent that uses the API for Monitor YouTube combines some of the results from Reddit, Google search, maybe my Twitter account, and seeing like if there's anything hot or anything happening from Hacker News, all of these websites, and then send me a nice little summary on ideas, like 5 to 7 ideas that I can potentially create for that specific day. So as you can see, I gave it like my API access, I gave it like the base URL for the API, and it just created everything on its own, right? I am not doing anything. What it has done at the end, like once I connected my Slack, and even these channels are, sort of click of a button. So I've not really written this message. I just clicked the button, which asked me to just connect it to Slack. It connected to Slack. I sent a quick message. It's working fine inside YouTube updates. And, I just created a schedule as well. So it can just send me one channel, some updates every single day. Right? You can see like it tested it on its own. And in order to check the reliability of the agent, I actually waited for a couple of days to see, and it fires every single day around 7 a.m. Now it takes like a couple of minutes because the large language model processing, the agent run and the LLM processing also takes a couple of minutes. But nonetheless, it uses my API, gets some of the ideas which are top of the list and shows me directly inside my Slack. It was able to check what's working, what's not working. And in terms of intelligence, it's using Opus 4.8, but you can switch it to Fable if you want. You can switch it to another model if you want them. And in terms of integrations, you can see like there are a lot of things over here that you can connect, from Google Drive, Google Workspace, to Microsoft, to your social media accounts like Instagram, even Twitter, in order to give it access. Even YouTube directly, right? So you can give access to your YouTube platform, or you can also do custom, just like I created an API and give it access. You can just give custom access to stuff that you are already building or you have third-party access to. And everything you should be able to track from this place itself. Now, I mean, sure, you can build this whole observability stack and, the connection stack yourself, but it's going to take you a lot of time to make sure that, these integrations are working fine, adding new integrations. And that is where I feel that the utility is much more that you take this system, whatever you have built, and try to use it for your own productive use cases, plus maybe, selling it to SMBs or businesses nearby in your area to create or make them AI ready, than to actually spend time building this whole system. I understand, like as a developer, if you are a technical person, you might have a little bit of urge to, just start to build the system. But I feel that building AI agents, it's a completely different task from building an AI agent orchestrator, right? So orchestrator is something which is what Hyperagent is, which is, what I'll call as an AI harness plus model as an AI agent, the whole system. And this system, whatever you are building, it's the AI agent system. Now, the AI agents and skills and memories and everything that you create using Hyperagent are also shared with other people in your team. So imagine if you're sort of opening an agency where you're helping other people build and ship their own AI agents. The idea is that Hyperagent is that full cloud platform, an orchestration platform where you, your team, even your clients can be and monitor and work from a single place directly. Now, if you want to use Hyperagent and get started building these AI agents that work reliably at scale, do check out the link in comments, which will give you free Hyperagent credits if you sign up using my link. So that's all for this video. Hopefully you liked it and learned something new about building AI agents using Hyperagent. I'm going to see you in the next video very soon.